Today's lesson is on exploded diagrams. This is the last lesson in this unit, and then you will be doing a hand-in and a project for me. So for today, we are looking at understanding 3D objects to include exploded views of things. So at the end of it, you should be able to analyze a set of views of a 3D object, determine if they represent a specific object and give a reason why. You should be able to describe and sketch a 2D representation of a 3D object given an exploded view. And you should be able to describe and sketch the components of given exploded diagrams and explain their relationships to the original. So what that means is you should be able to be given either an exploded diagram and create the 3D model, or vice versa, create a two-dimensional exploded view from a 3D model. I'm going to show you how to create the exploded view because that's the most important part, is that you understand how that works. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this object right here, and we're going to draw an exploded view. So what we first need to do is we need to identify all of the components. So when we're identifying components, that means that I'm looking to see, I have a big square piece at the back, I have a top, a bottom, a shelf, and two sides. So I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different components that I need to draw a two-dimensional shape, and then I need to somehow draw dashed lines between them to show where they would connect to the original. So we're going to start by drawing the back. These are not necessarily drawn to scale just because it would be really difficult to do. So I'm going to draw the back diagram of mine. Give me a second here. So we're going to draw the back piece. I'm going to cheat and I'm going to use this. You're going to use a ruler, but I'm going to cheat and I'm going to do this. So this is my back piece. I'm now going to draw the top shelf piece and the bottom shelf piece. I also have 2 side pieces that are going to go on either side. Now the tricky part here becomes, how do we get in the other, the center piece that is like your shelves here? So we can kind of put it off to the side. It doesn't really matter where it goes as long as you can draw your dashed lines to go with it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to draw dashed lines of different colors to represent the parts that we have. So we're going to start with a red one for the top, and we're going to connect it where it would connect to the object. So this here would connect to the back panel, and this would connect to the back panel. So you draw corner to corner. Now this is actually going to connect to the front piece of your sides, right? So the sides are going to connect to the back panel, but they're also going to connect to this top piece in their top corner. So that means that the sides are going to be folded upwards and in instead of weirdly twisted outwards. So that the red lines represent how the top connects to the rest of the pieces. Now we're going to change colors. We're going to go with green, and we're going to deal with the side piece here. So this side piece is going to connect to the back, and it's going to connect to the back here and here. Same with this side piece here and here. Now, this piece is also going to connect to the bottom. So this back corner here also has to connect to the front corner of your side pieces. So we're going to connect those. Now we're going to change colors, and we're going to go with blue, and we're going to connect the bottom piece to all the components it would connect to. Now we can connect this to the back side here. Now the tricky one comes with, how do we connect this shelf? Whereabouts does it connect, and to what? So now we're going to go through, and we're going to, with purple, we're going to try and figure out, if I was to take this shelf, it's going to connect halfway through. So it's going to connect here, and it's going to connect here. Now these pieces actually are going to connect to your shelf itself. cell, like the side pieces of your shelf, right? So it's going to connect to actually the front side of it, I should say. So it should, my line should technically connect to, let me move this one, to the front side of this to show that it's connecting in the middle. Now this is really tough to look at. You don't see them a lot unless it's actually in like furniture. Sometimes they'll have exploded diagrams, but they're not going to have it of all components together. They'll have it of like bits and piece sections. So they would show just the shelf and the back piece. They wouldn't show anything else. That is all I have for exploded diagrams, however. So you can now go and finish up the lesson 4 through 6 worksheet as well as your portfolio. And then if you finish that, you can start on your hand-in assignment.